What's up, guys? Thank you for clicking on the video. So in this one, I'm going to do a two-part series. And in this first part, we're going to talk about Instagram and Facebook part scammers. As you may or may not know, this is the KnightDriveTV YouTube channel, and I focus a lot on Corvette content, but I also have some off-road and some other different things coming up. Kind of do a vlog style, but also sell some Corvette parts. So obviously, I have quite a number of customers that sometimes reach out to me through the channel, and they say, hey, I think I've been scammed. Can you help me? Can you give me some insight into this? And now that I've had a few people do that, I thought, as I've looked deeper and deeper into this, I thought it would be helpful to the community to show you guys how to protect yourself with online scammers who are very convincing that they have parts for sale or they're going to have parts for sale. And obviously you have to use your some caution when buying online and do your due diligence. So I'm going to kind of show you some of the things that you may not think of to identify parts scammers online on Instagram. This will apply to Facebook, so stick around. You're watching KnightDriveTV.
I always wanted to build fast cars, so self-taught I started with engine swaps, composites in my apartment, to multiple shops, tuning, fabrication, and more. 10 years later, the big time, SEMA, Speed TV, I climbed from nothing, but I lost it all. This is my new ride, KnightDriveTV.
Drivers and drive vets.
So folks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of take you through a scenario. This really began with one particular customer of mine that reached out to me and said, hey, I think I might have been scammed of quite a bit of money. I believe it was about $2,500. We're going to kind of point out, first of all, some red flags, some things that you should probably not do when dealing with online transactions. With that being said, let me go over a few things that I think that you should just off the cuff, you should be very aware of. Obviously, when sending money, anything like Zelle, Cash App, Venmo, these things have very little recourse when it comes to getting your money back if you're dissatisfied. And that, as a customer, obviously you want the most protection. And so PayPal may come to mind. PayPal gives you the ability to dispute the charge, things like that. Now, let me tell you from a business owner perspective, from a person who I actually did sell a lot of parts, for cars. I would part out cars. I aligned a lot with these companies I'm about to show you. I parted out cars. I did take a lot of photos. I did participate in this business, and I will tell you what happened to me was I shipped out the product and they would file a PayPal dispute. PayPal would not question it. They would return their money and pull it out of my account and then give me basic options. Do you want to respond to this? What happens? But basically, the only option for me was to accept the return, the forced return of the product. And so PayPal would provide the buyer with a tracking number. And as long as that tracking number came back to my address, then PayPal would consider the dispute done. My money was gone. And then theoretically, I had the parts. But when I opened the box that was sent back to me, it was junk. That made business owners very wary of PayPal. And so this creates a complex issue. So really what it comes down to is today you need to probably expect that you may get some pushback from experienced business owners when it comes to PayPal. And so what I would suggest is, your credit card always allows you chargeback protection to file a dispute. And I would only really buy from someone that you can go through a legitimate payment interface. If they can accept a credit card, something like that through a business or an online e-commerce type of platform, then you're protected by your chargeback protections. This is what MasterCard and Visa, that's why that logo is on your card. That basically is like the mediator in the transaction. It's the insurer, the banks get involved. It's a similar process to PayPal, but it tends to be more thorough. So I hope I can skim over that as best I can. Try to be careful. Obviously, I'm not saying don't Zelle someone. If you can verify their existence in the community, if you can verify and show that they are a valid member of, say, a Corvette forum or a parts forum or an automotive group, if they have a reputation, this is where you have to do your background investigation. So let me go ahead and get to identifying what this person missed, and I'm going to show you kind of what stuck out to me right here. So let's go ahead and jump over to that. Okay, so what I am pulling up here and what you're looking at is vet_pros_parts. The first thing that I would suggest whenever dealing with an online seller is always look at their main profile page. What you may have come across is a picture of a particular part in your feed. It will be like something like you see down here where my cursor is, just a particular picture. Now what I am on here is a screenshot of their profile page. The first thing that I would personally look at, and you can see that somebody that follows KnightDriveTV, BLK_Z06 follows these people. So if you're watching Black_Z06, don't buy from Vet Pros, but I don't think this page is active anymore. So you see here they have 36,700 subscribers, lots of people following them, lots of posts. And it says, we deal with fairly used parts of all Corvettes, buy projects and part outs, PM for any Corvette parts you need. Vet Pros Parts, Pros, P-R-O-S-S. Seems like a weird misspell, but I would look for oddities in how things are spelled, indicating that it might be someone who doesn't inherently speak the English language. Somebody that doesn't understand how to type, how to use punctuation, things like that. That could be an initial indicator, but I can just tell you that me personally, as soon as I pulled this up and I looked quickly at just this page, I knew this was probably a scammer. And I don't know if you can identify why that is, but I can immediately identify why that is. So here is a better view of the pictures that they have. And again, something very bold stands out to me immediately as to why this is a scammer. Let's look at all these different photos. And so one of the keys is when I parted out vehicles, if this were my business, and it was my business at one point, I would do this out of a centralized location. I had a shop space. So typically when I parted out cars, there were consistencies in the photos in terms of the floor, in terms of the area that I would take a picture of most parts. I had a place in the shop that I typically always took pictures, and my floor was consistent. So if it was in my shop or outside, you could see a pattern in all of my photos. Looking at these photos, what I see is just a variety of backgrounds, a variety of landscapes, just a complete randomness. It's all Corvette parts, but if you look a little deeper and look at the backgrounds, you can tell that these pictures are probably pulled randomly from the internet and just compiled. And so that's, to me, an immediate warning sign. If you see inconsistency, if it were their business, it would probably be the same garage, the same background, the same landscaping. If I see desert photos, trees, Vet Pros Parts I was looking at. And another thing is you can see the high amount of followers that they have, 37,000. When you look at the engagement of 14 likes, 12 likes. Now, obviously, these aren't super fascinating photos. You may not get a lot of likes, but there are no comments. There are very little likes, and so usually that's an indication that this has been kind of a pumped up page. You can pay companies and China farms to basically give you a bunch of false followers. You can get up to 30,000, 40,000 people for very little money. And obviously if you're scamming someone for $1,000 or $2,000 per part, in some cases, if you pay a company in China $1,000 to give you 30,000 followers, that money's coming back to you very quickly. So here I'm going to show you how I get to this, but I'm going to show you a screen that you can find, and you can see that Vet Pros Parts has changed their username 6 times, including 4 times in the past 90 days. And so what you can clearly see is that this person will use the page, prop up the page with a lot of follows. They'll basically do a lot of posting, targeting with hashtags. They will organically probably accumulate maybe 500 to 1,000 real followers of those 30,000, and then it only takes a few of those to close a transaction to make this worth it. And then what they will do is change their username, block those people, and then you will have very little recourse, especially with how you sent the money or spent the money. But I'm going to show you a pattern as well. So this is Vet Pros Parts. You can see the account is based in Cameroon, and the former usernames were 6 times here. So what I then did was started searching randomly some other Corvette parts pages by searching Corvette parts, and things like that. Here again, I have a few followers on KnightDriveTV that are followers of Corvette Garage. This is a different page, 1,752 followers. Obviously, immediately, you should be able to identify exactly what I brought up earlier. A lot of randomness, pictures of parts by the grass, in a driveway, some guy on a boat, and things like this. So probably not going to be good. We supply new and old spare underscore space parts of Corvette with all series itself, space between it and self. We welcome you and well space come versus the appropriate spelling. So again, these are immediate tells that this person probably doesn't speak English very well or doesn't write English very well. Obviously in the pictures has like an odd statue, and just again a ton of randomness, a ton of backgrounds. This is something you should be able to easily identify now that I've brought it up to you. So always be on the lookout for this kind of thing. Did the same about this account, which I will show you in June of 2021. Again, Cameroon, and 6 usernames former. So here's what I'm showing you now is Corvette underscore center underscore parts. The underscores I often feel is a little bit of a tell, because sometimes they will just add an underscore to their previous name and create a new username, but it's the same, it's easier to remember. This is Adamu Prince Will is the name, 32.9 thousand followers. We provide accessories of Corvettes and parts by projects, build projects, things like that. Again, just scrolling down, you can immediately see the patterns. And, you know, it's funny, you see this guy in the background of this car. Not saying it's him, because these are often lifted from the internet, but sometimes you can look even in the reflections of glass and things. You can see so many different people taking photos. You can see that there's a lot of randomness, but they could have jacked those photos from a legitimate user somewhere else online. But here there's just no consistency at all whatsoever. This looks like a business. This looks like a storage unit. This is somebody's like backyard. This is somebody's driveway. Obviously on stone, a back patio. This is in dirt in a junkyard. So no pattern there whatsoever. But what I'm going to do now, I'm on a desktop. On your phone, when you go to the profile page, you're going to see the 3 dots. The same exists here on this desktop, and then you have this drop-down menu. If you click those 3 dots, you'll see block, restrict, report, and sometimes, not always, and I don't understand why this is not always the case, there will be a link called About This Account. And if you click that, here we go again. April 2022 was the date joined, and an account based in Cameroon. Former usernames 4. And so they have changed their username 4 times. So obviously, you know, we see a lot of scams based out of particular parts of the world, certain things in Pakistan, certain things in India, certain things in China. So, you know, this Cameroon, I believe, is in South Africa. I'm not positive, don't hold me to that. But this is something you need to be very aware of. So I continued some searching, and here we have Corvette Parts underscore Nation. And just quickly going on there, they have 12.5 thousand followers. They, you know, again, engagement. Now they have a comment or two, but they have this part here on like a wooden floor of these calipers. And so I was able to locate Corvette Auto Parts, Corvette underscore Auto underscore Parts underscore, with the very same photo. So in this is 511 followers. Obviously, they follow a lot of people. They will target Corvette either usernames, or they will go to another Corvette group and they will follow a lot of people. It will get your attention. Oh, who just followed me? Oh, Corvette Auto Parts. Hey, I have a Corvette. I'd like to buy parts. You follow them back. So that's what these automatic bots used to do, is that they would basically, the system would automatically, with a program, log into your account for you, and it would follow a lot of people, and it would do it in cycles so that Instagram wouldn't pick up on it, and then those people would follow you back, and then it would unfollow those people, and it would do it in cycles to raise artificial users. So So basically, this is what you have to look out for, and the things that I would say stick out the most to keep you on guard with these types of sellers is look at the consistency of the parts, ask them to write you a note, and say, hey, you know, send me a few other pictures of the parts if you go into the DMs with them, and say, write me a note with my username on it and the date, and sit it on the floor, and you know, and then seek some type of validation of where they're located. Tell them to, you know, show an ID, show some type of proof that they are a local somewhere, a newspaper, you know, some address, something like that, or ask for references, somebody that's bought from them before and can vouch for their identity and the fact that they're going to close the deal. So I hope this helps people avoid getting scammed. Obviously, Instagram is a great tool to promote your business. Same with YouTube, same with Facebook. I do it myself. So, I mean, it's a platform that I don't want to see tainted. Obviously, no legitimate business owner wants this to happen, because these types of things compromise companies who are actually making products and sending them to, obviously, the buyers and trying to be a part of the Corvette community. These people are the scum. They are the ones that take from a community, they exploit the trust of others, and then they take the money and they run. And there's really no way to get your money back, especially when these people were out of the country. So, you know, it's just something you have to be careful of. There are obviously legitimate users on Instagram that may sell their own car parts. You just have to be extremely careful. So I hope it helps somebody. I hope this video was able to save somebody some money and give you a little bit of protection in the future. In part 2 of this, I'm going to talk about in-the-country scammers, and these are probably going to be legitimate businesses who run into problems. I'm going to talk about my own experiences in the past. I actually know business owners that have gotten themselves in a lot of trouble just because of, you know, mismanaging finances, or you know, just getting caught up in the game like Bernie Madoff, I guess, you know. So they turn a legitimate business into a Ponzi, and it's something I have a lot of experience with. I've identified it in prior cases. I can show you proof of it, that I had people who did not believe me when I identified businesses as an essential Ponzi. And years later, when the indictments fell, they messaged me like, how did you know that? And I said, well, you know, you just got to know, you know, you see patterns and things. And when I've been out there quite a bit in the automotive world, I was able to identify it. So we do have good companies out here, but we got bad companies out here. And, you know, people make mistakes, and I understand business owners will get themselves into trouble. And it's something that, you know, when you run a company, you have to be very careful. So, but inevitably, there are bad actors. There are people, I think, who do it and just say, well, you can't get me. So I'm going to tell you in the next video how you can get them. So thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe if you can. Leave me a comment. And as always, we make lots of different Corvette parts and cool things here on KnightDriveTV YouTube channel. So I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Thanks for watching.